Hello, dear friend. It's wonderful to have you here with me today. Let's take a moment to pause together in this shared space and reflect on something that touches many of us as we enter new seasons of life: loneliness and the surprising ways we often try and struggle to soothe it. Do you ever find yourself with too much time on your hands and wonder what to do with it? Those long, quiet hours after the phone stops ringing and the daily rush of work and family life fades into memory. It's such a common experience after retirement. You might find your hand reaching for the phone to call an old friend or feel tempted to drop by someone's house just for the comfort of company. But let me ask you, does that truly ease the emptiness? Or does it sometimes leave you feeling even more alone? Today we'll explore this feeling together, the moments of loneliness that creep in, and how leaning too much on others, even on our dearest friends, can sometimes deepen that sense of isolation rather than ease it. I want us to uncover practical ways to reconnect, not just with each other, but with the quiet wisdom within ourselves. Let's begin, shall we? The emotional weight of dependence. I want to share a story with you, a tale of two men, Robert and Gerald. They're both in their 70s. Robert spends his days tinkering with tools in his garage or catching up on books at the local library. He enjoys meeting friends for coffee but feels content with the stillness of his own company. Then there's Gerald. Restless since his retirement, Gerald has taken to calling up old colleagues and dropping by unannounced, searching for distraction and connection. At first, his friends were happy to see him. Who wouldn't be? But over time, his frequent need for company began to feel heavier than he realized, and slowly, painfully, he noticed that his calls weren't being answered as often. The sense of rejection was sharp. Here's the truth. Leaning on others for emotional relief can create unspoken burdens. No one likes to think of themselves as an emotional crutch, and yet, it happens so quietly. Friends begin to feel the strain, not because they don't care, but because the dynamic shifts from mutual joy to unbalanced need. Dr. Margaret Hall, a clinical psychologist specializing in aging, reminds us, true friendship thrives when emotional exchanges are light and equal, not one-sided. When leaned upon too heavily, even close relationships can buckle under the weight. So, how do we avoid this? Well, by learning to lean more on ourselves. A simple daily practice, making your bed, preparing a wholesome meal, or walking in the morning light, helps build that quiet emotional strength. Every time you honor your own presence with these small acts of care, you remind yourself, I can find peace right here within me. The rhythm of life. Post-retirement. Have you noticed how much life slows down after retirement? For some, it's a gift. For others, it feels like aimlessness. But here's the tricky part. This wide-open pace doesn't always match the lives of the people around us. Take Marilyn and Lorraine, for instance. Marilyn retired last year and now enjoys her leisurely mornings, quiet afternoons, and reflective evenings. Lorraine, on the other hand, still juggles part-time work and 3 days a week babysitting her grandchildren. Feeling a little lonely one afternoon, Marilyn decided to visit Lorraine unannounced. A lovely gesture, but unfortunately, Lorraine was busy sorting through paperwork and planning the kids' dinner. Though Lorraine greeted her warmly at first, over time, those drop-ins began to feel intrusive. She didn't want to hurt Marilyn's feelings but started pulling back. Marilyn, now sensing the distance, felt confused, even hurt. Moments like this remind us how important it is to respect the rhythm of each other's lives. Rather than filling your schedule with impulsive visits, why not create your own beat? Join that local gardening club you've been eyeing. Start journaling, or attend a class at the community center. When your life has its own music, your visits with friends will carry a lightness, a shared joy, rather than expectation. The invisible triggers of old friendships. Let's consider something many of us experience but rarely talk about. How reconnecting with people from our past can awaken surprising feelings. Memories of who we once were, our careers, our struggles, our triumphs, can bubble up during these meetings, often without warning. Have you ever left a lunch or a coffee date feeling unsettled, weighed down by unexplained heaviness? You're not alone in this. Think of Sam and Paul. Great friends. They spent 25 years as co-workers and transitioned into retirement together. At first, their breakfasts were comforting, a stable tradition in an ever-changing life. But as the months rolled by, Sam began noticing a shift in himself. The conversations revolved around their careers, old office gossip, and accomplishments. And while Paul seemed to thrive on revisiting these highlights, Sam felt the stirring of dissatisfaction. Did I accomplish enough? Do I still matter now that those work days are over? Retirement isn't just leaving a job. It's stepping away from an identity. And spending time with those who knew us in that previous identity can sometimes anchor us to it, even when we're yearning for something new. These emotions aren't wrong. They're signs that a part of us is ready to grow and heal. Social fatigue and surface conversations. Barbara and Jean meet weekly for coffee. They've known each other for decades. Barbara, the storyteller, enjoys talking about her garden, her neighbors, and the weather. But Jean, she's been quietly wrestling with sleepless nights and a sadness she can't quite name. One day, she tried to open up to Barbara, but the moment slipped away in a light-hearted chuckle and a sudden change of subject. Standing alone afterward, Jean couldn't shake the feeling. I feel lonelier now than I did before. Superficial conversation doesn't satisfy the heart. Connections thrive on depth, honest vulnerability, and the courage to sit with one another, even in life's struggles. If this level of connection isn't present in your current friendships, it may be time to seek out others who share a deeper desire for meaningful moments. Or better yet, start practicing those heartfelt conversations, first with yourself. The growth found in silence. Finally, let's talk about what loneliness often hides. An invitation to inner growth. Spaces that once felt painfully quiet can become sacred. Ruth, another woman journeying through her 70s, chose to embrace her solitude after retiring. Instead of filling every hour with plans or chatter, she sat with her reflections. She kept a journal, walked alone by the river, and grew more connected to her inner self than she had been in years. In time, the loneliness gave way to a sense of peace she never knew was possible. It's not always easy to face those quiet moments alone, but when you do, you give yourself the chance to ask profound questions. What do I truly want? How do I let go of lingering regrets? What kind of joy am I still learning to embrace? By giving yourself time to sit in the stillness, you're unlocking strength that no one else can give you, and no absence can take away. Before we finish today, let me leave you with this thought. Loneliness doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It simply means your heart is looking for more, a deeper connection, not just with others, but with yourself. Build routines that nurture you. Seek out friendships that uplift and energize you. But most importantly, Become the kind of companion to yourself that you've always been to others. That's where true contentment begins. Thank you for spending this reflection with me. If something I've said today touched your heart, I'd love to hear from you. What stood out? What are you taking with you from this conversation? Until next time, take care of yourself. You are your best company after all.